Evan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
You have been an expert in business agility for what, the last 10 years?
Nearly, yes.
So tell us, what has changed over the last 10 years?
In the last 10 years, we've seen business agility move from something that is niche and obscure and no one even thinks about it towards a legitimate management model. It's 10 years ago when I started talking about agile banks and agile companies, it was like yelling into the void. And the last couple of years, the void's been talking back. Now, maybe I'm going mad or maybe I'm onto something, but the more companies are sort of starting to think about business agility and how to remain relevant. And I'll be honest, the biggest trigger for this is the market right now. It is ambiguous, it is uncertain. Say what you like about the world today, we all agree that it is unpredictable, and hence business agility.
Absolutely. So do you see, is it the C-level that's focused more on business agility? Is it happening, top up, bottom down?
So I challenge the metaphor. So in one case, yes, the C-level tends to see they see the market. They're the ones directly talking and engaging with the market. But so are the people at the bottom. So are the people talking to the customers. So business agility isn't top-down. It's not bottom-up. Successful business agility, if I can change the metaphor, it's more like a tea bag or a sponge. Okay. It's an infusion of business agility across all levels, across all areas of the organization. And like a sponge or like a tea bag, you can't go from one direction. It is just, it's all. And companies which are successful are the ones that take that systemic view of agility, that leadership and structure and market and work and mindset, and they make all of that, to coin a phrase, agile.
So what keeps you up at night, Evan, when you think about business agility and where things are headed?
What keeps me up at night is how do you influence or convince people that this is a legitimate way? And companies are starting to think about it, but this is not a perfect sponge. Every company, there are areas which are, in some cases, they do not understand or they do not believe it's necessary. In other cases, they're downright hostile because it is a challenge to the status quo. It's if I'm building engaged teams, this pressurized middle, this frozen middle of the organization often really struggles. Now, in other organizations, they can be your biggest ally. So there's no silver bullet, there's no one problem, but that art of negotiation, that art of communication, convincing an organization that there is a problem. And if you look at the Fortune 100 from 1983 to 2013, 57 companies from the Fortune 100 do not exist in that form. Bankruptcies, acquisitions, mergers. Yeah. It's debatable whether a merger is a bad thing, or they've just slid into insignificance. Right? 57% in one generation, those companies are gone.
That keeps me up at night, right? Just the thought of that, for sure. So would you say we're at a tipping point then for business agility?
Yes. We're seeing more and more organizations learn about it and talk about it and try and be part of it. I think we have to be very careful not to fall into the hype cycle, that idea of, oh, it's a buzzword, and all the organizations start to use it, and actually there is meaning behind the buzz, right? And there is something behind the buzz. And if we can avoid that hype and that crash, right, and actually turn it into a sustained transformation of not just a company, but the world of work, then we've got something fantastic.
Well, I did notice at your Business Agility conference here that we just had in the last year, you put on, I didn't see a lot of marketing for it, and it seemed to me that it was sold out instantly. I mean, it was amazing, the response you had.
Well, we actually sold out, and it was, I'll admit, terrifying. The first time you put on an event is somewhat risky, but just the appetite for business agility was fantastic. So we're doing it again, March 14, 15 next year. Bigger venue, same format, just tweaked and improved, but more people and we're probably going to sell out again. We opened registrations, and we sold like the first 20 tickets within like 3 hours. So
wow, so that tells me that we're definitely at a place where people want to know more about business agility. They want to know how to drive success with it. So it's a great time to be a part of this.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Any other closing words that you would like to say about business agility?
I'll only just say that it is here. It is not some pipe dream. It's not a consultant trying to sell their latest book or whatever else. It is literally the way of working of the future. And companies who fail to realize that won't be here in 30 years.
We like to call it the modern way of working. So there you go.
There you go.
Same thing, the future. Love it. Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.